It is recording. All right. Okay, excellent. So shall we start with assignment 3 problems if there are no other questions?
Ma'am?
Yes.
Ma'am, actually I have some problem with assignment 1 checking because I saw my answer script but I didn't get where my marks got deducted.
Okay, so these are graded by the TA. Maybe that I can take separately. Or tell me quickly.
Ma'am, I don't know where my marks got deducted. How can I tell?
Oh, I thought no. See, if you sort of move the mouse on the answer script, you will see a sticky note. You don't see it otherwise, but if you move the mouse, then you will see a sticky note where there will be a small explanation as to why the marks are deducted.
Okay.
Yeah, please do that. And if that does not work, send me an email. We'll see.
Okay.
Yes, or better, raise on the Moodle discussion forum. Okay, all right. Any other questions?
Ma'am?
Yes, tell me.
Ma'am, last day you gave certain exercises in the class. Would you please discuss number 4 and 5?
Okay, we will. Yeah, we will.
Okay.
Yeah, so let me just sort of, yeah. Okay. So you want to take up the exercise left open in the class. Let me ask about assignment 3. So did you get time to try the problems from assignment 3?
Ma'am, in assignment 3, will you please explain how to solve the question number 9? Means only the way.
Nice. See, one I noticed last night is a typo. Question number 9 starts in between. There's question number 10 and then 1, 2. So question number 10, 1 part 2 should appear later after part 4. I will fix that. Okay. So now there's. So let's take this up because this we have not talked about at all in the class. So do you see assignment 3 on your screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, okay, all right. Okay. So D naught is the Euclidean metric on Rk. So for x and y k tuple, we are defining D naught like this, the Euclidean distance between the points x and y. And E naught is another metric between x and y. Yeah. So the first thing is xn converges to a point with respect to a metric x naught. With respect to the metric d naught, if and only if the sequence xnj converges to x naught j for each j. Yeah. So let's take up question 9 part 1. Yeah. Let's try to let me try to say what is to be done. Yeah. Let's see, where do I write? Okay. So is this, I think this is tutorial 4 today. So do you see tutorial 4 written on the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
Yes,
all right. Assignment 3, question number 9. Yeah. So x is defined as, so this is a point in k copies of R, and y is a point, I am writing it as y1, y2, yk. Yeah, so coordinates, right? And how is the metric D naught defined? D naught is defined as xi minus yi square and sum of each of them, I running from 1 to k, and the square root of this entire thing. Is that correct? Yes. Let me go back and check. Is this correct? This is the definition of
Yes,
the
ma'am.
metric, yeah. And what is that we defined as E naught? Let me check. What is E naught? E naught is another metric on. So one has to check that, but E naught is another function defined on the product space Rk to Rk, and it is given like this. Yeah. So let me write that. So E naught is defined like this. Summation I equal to 1 to k. Is that correct? Yes. Okay. So the first problem says about something about. So I'm trying to do is explain the problem to you, and then perhaps you will feel a little more comfortable with the question. Yeah. So again, it is talking about convergence of a sequence, and let me see what is the notation used there. I've written xn or an. What is that I have written? So xn is a sequence of points in Rk converging to a point x naught of Rk with respect to the metric d naught. Yeah, and the xn is written like this. And okay, all right. So the first thing is, xn is a sequence of points in Rk, right? So what does it mean? This is this is a function from the set of natural numbers into the set Rk, right? Which means that each entry here is an element in Rk, right? So this notation is, so you need to sort of write it down coordinate wise, right? So the notation is xn1, xn2, so on xnk, right? And x naught is another point in Rk, and the notation is x naught 1. So these are the coordinates, each of them being points in Rk. Is this okay? Yes. And what is that is given to us? Suppose that the sequence xn converges to the point x naught in the metric d naught, right? And you have to show that what is the meaning of this statement, right? Is that correct? Everybody with me up till this point?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Let me see. Yeah. If and only if. Yeah. So what is the statement 1 saying? The statement 1 is saying that the sequence xn of points in Rk converges to a point x naught in Rk with respect to the metric d naught, if and only if the same thing happens coordinate wise. Yeah. So xn j is a point in the is a real number, is a point in R, and so is x naught j, the jth component, right? So let's see. Yeah. So all you have to do is just write down the definition, right? So what do? You write down, you say that let's fix some positive number epsilon. Then by definition of convergence of a sequence, what does it mean? By definition means that there exists some positive integer capital N such that what happens? The d naught distance between the points of the sequence xn and the limit is at most epsilon from stage capital N. Is that correct? I have just written the definition.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. And now, you are given what is the meaning of the symbol on the left hand side, right? So you need to just write it down, invoke the definition here, and it should fall out. It is just exercise in sort of getting comfortable with this notation. Is that okay, or shall we go on? I think this should be okay. How about you? If you're still confused, please ask. Just write down the definition and just write down the meaning of the symbol d naught, xn, x naught, the distance between xn and x naught. isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, is that okay with everybody present here?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let me go back and see who asked this question in the first place. Who had asked this question in the first place? Is that Vivek? Vivek, did you ask this question?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so Vivek, does that answer your question? Do you think you will be able to answer, sort of attempt this now?
Yes, ma'am. I will try.
Yeah, is that okay? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
all right. Okay. Thank you, Vivek. Okay, all right. Okay, all right. Anything else in assignment 3? Anything else?
Ma'am, in question 4, how do we show the existence part? For the first one, I use sandwich theorem.
Yeah. So, today in the afternoon session, we will do sandwich theorem, and then you should sort of attempt these problems.
Okay.
Yeah, so I am going to talk about sandwich theorem today in the afternoon session. Yeah. So don't worry about it as of now. If you are not familiar with sandwich theorem, one way to go about it is to use the sandwich theorem. See, all of these, question number 3 and 4 is just practice in epsilon n definition. The more you practice, the more you write down the workout the problems, the more comfortable you will be. Okay, so shall I assume there are no further questions in assignment 3 for now?
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, please.
Ma'am, in question number 6, we have to show argument also, or just true or false?
Question number 6. Any statement that you make, you have to justify it. If you say true, why is it true? If you say false, you have to give a counter example.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Ma'am, in question 1, we just have to write the definition.
Yes. So you know what is the meaning of a sequence AN to be convergent. You have to negate that statement and give us a proper definition.
Okay, ma'am.
So Kritika, we will get to your question about the exercises left open in class. Let me just take problems on assignment 3 first. Anything else?
Ma'am,
Yes, please.
in second question, can we use
Pushkar,
M10 theorem?
in second question, which theorem would you like to use?
M10 theorem?
What is MTEL theorem? Can you please remind me?
Ma'am, in the book there is, if X follows Xn, for n belongs to be a sequence, and M10 theorem is Xm is equal to Xm plus n for
M-tail theorem. No. You don't use any tail theorem here. You have to, meaning I don't see how that comes into the picture here. Over here, you have to show that there is a sequence of points in S which converge to the supremum of S.
Okay, ma'am.
Where does a tail of a sequence come into the picture here?
Ma'am, I thought that there was a doubt. I haven't written
Okay.
it. So
See, you have to explicitly construct a sequence here. Construct a sequence of points which are converging to the supremum of S. So I am not sure how tail of a sequence can help. You have to construct a sequence first in order to talk about its tail in the first place. There's no sequence here at the moment, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, if there is nothing else, I'll pause for a minute if there are any further questions on this.
Ma'am?
Yes, please.
Ma'am, I have
This is
tried the
Pushkar
second
again, is
question.
it? Yeah, Pushkar
No,
again.
ma'am. Niladri.
Huh? Niladri. Okay,
Niladri.
now it's your name is showing. Yeah, tell me Niladri. Sorry about that. Yeah.
Ma'am, I have tried the second question.
Yes.
Ma'am, may I project?
Yeah,
think
please
that.
go ahead. Yeah, present your solution if you want to. Yeah.
Ma'am, is it showing?
Yeah, can you just increase the font size? I can see it, but it will be helpful if you can increase the size. Yes, a little bit more.
Is it okay?
Yes, much better now. Yeah, thank you.
Ma'am, here it is said that the alpha is the supremum.
Correct.
And in the alpha neighborhood, I will get some point from the set S as
Why is
alpha is.
that? Why do you say this statement that this epsilon neighborhood of alpha will definitely intersect in S minus the point alpha?
Ma'am, because alpha is the supremum, and if alpha is in the set S, then it will contain some epsilon neighborhood will contain some point from S apart from alpha.
Why?
Because alpha is the limit.
Alpha is the
limit point. I can say that.
See, you have to
Right.
provide an argument if alpha is a limit point.
Okay.
You may be right, but you have to provide an argument. Right? So far, we have not discussed this, that if the supremum is a limit point. See, that's precisely that this problem is for, right? Once you demonstrate that there is a sequence of points converging to that, then you can sort of make all that statements, right?
Okay, ma'am, I got
See,
it.
my point is, Niladri, that you should not make circular arguments. Use one and then, go back to two and then, realize that statement two was actually used in proving statement one. I just want to make sure that. Is that okay? Yeah, so my suggestion is, Niladri, just use the definition that alpha is the supremum first. Just use that fact. And it should fall out. Yeah? That's my suggestion. Yeah?
Okay, ma'am.
We have to be just careful that, what we are using to prove this, it should not become a circular argument, as I said. Yeah? Is that okay? But you're on the right track. Yeah?
Okay.
All right. Great.
Ma'am?
Yes.
Actually, for the second question, I don't have the scanned copy of answer. I just roughly written down the things.
Yes. Okay, Radhika. Yeah.
Can I use the proposition like if alpha is supremum and if V is any point which is less than alpha, then there exists a point S dash belongs to the set.
That's the definition. Yeah. That's the definition of the supremum. Yeah, that seems like the right way to go about it. Yeah. Good.
Ma'am, I have the solution. Can I discuss it here?
Okay, so then in that case, I will.
I'm not sure whether it's correct or not actually.
Okay, let me try writing it down. See, this is my appeal to all of you. Slowly, you should become confident of what you have done, right? Okay, so this is question 2, solution by Radhika. Okay, tell me, Radhika. I'll write down whatever you say.
Here alpha is supremum of S, and we know that if alpha is supremum, and if any point V which is less than alpha, then there exists S dash belongs to set S such that V is less than S dash. Now we
Okay,
know
just a
that.
minute. Just a minute. Let me write this down. Yeah, there exists a point S prime in S such that V is less than S. Yeah. Please check what you are saying, and I'm writing. I'm just writing whatever you are saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What
Now
next?
we know that alpha minus 1 by n is less than alpha for n belongs to the natural number.
So for each little n in n, you look at the point alpha minus 1 by n. This is certainly less than alpha. Okay. So then.
Now given n belongs to the natural number, we can find an belongs to the set S. An is a element of sequence such that alpha minus 1 by n is less than an less than alpha. We can say that an to be S dash here using that result.
Correct. So there is a point S prime which I am. So you're writing that as this. So this is less than an, right? So the corresponding to each index n, there is a point in S. So there's a dependence on n. So you're writing it as an. Okay. All right.
Now by Sandwich theorem, we know that limit of n tends to infinity alpha minus 1 by n is alpha. Limit n tends to infinity alpha is alpha. Then obviously limit n tends to infinity as will be alpha.
Say that again, Radhika. So we have not talked about it, but feel comfortable to use Sandwich theorem now. But you can do it without Sandwich theorem also. So what is your argument from this point?
Actually, I have alpha minus 1 by n less than an less than alpha.
Why is an less than alpha?
Because alpha is the supremum and
Right. So you
an
have to
is
write that, right. So you have to write that point here, right? That each an is less than or equal to alpha because an are points in S and alpha is the supremum of S.
okay.
Correct.
Now we know that limit n tends to infinity alpha minus 1 by n will be alpha. Limit n tends to infinity alpha will be alpha, and then obviously by Sandwich theorem limit of an.
That's one way to conclude. Yeah.
Alpha.
Yeah. That's one way to conclude. Yeah. So I will not write down solution. Courtesy Radhika. Yeah.
Ma'am, we can't see your screen.
You can't see the screen, is it?
No, ma'am.
Oh, why is that? Just a minute. Sorry. So I think that is because Niladri was presenting. So I think I need to stop his presentation and then yeah. So I think that was the. So Niladri, can you stop your presentation? Maybe it's already stopped. So let me try to. Yeah. Sorry, I should have shared my screen again. I'm just so used to presenting, so I just forgot that. I'm so sorry about it, Kritika and Radhika. Yeah. Thank you for pointing this out. Now can you see the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Now can you? Yeah. So I've just written whatever Radhika was saying, so that we are not lost in notation. Is that okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Is everybody present here?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, all right. Thank you, Radhika. If there's nothing else, then we perhaps go back and take up the questions raised by Kritika. Is that okay? So shall I assume assignment 3 is more or less okay with everybody present here? All right, excellent. So let's see. So Kritika, so I am just looking up the notes from last time. So you said 5 and 6?
ma'am, 4 and 5.
4 and 5. 4 and 5. Okay, let's take up one of them. What is it? If xn converges to x naught, then x naught is a limit point of the range of xn. And what is 5? So which one should we take first? Let's look at Let's look at 4, yeah? Let me write down what is the question. Exercise 4 from last time. The question was that if xn is a sequence of points converging to x0, so this is a true or false statement. We don't even know whether, so you have to determine true or false. We don't even know if this is the case. If xn converges to x0, then x0 is a limit point of the range of xn. Right? So, so that is, so let me write it down. That is the set E xn n equal to 1, 2, and 3. So is this okay, Kritika? So everybody, even everybody else, does everybody understand what is the meaning of the statement here? How does the set E differ from the sequence xn? Yes? Okay, excellent. All right. So let's see. So let's sort of try to see whether this is true or false. Yeah, let's sort of try to see. Now, what is, so suppose that I am not making any statement of whether it is true or false. I'm just trying to understand what is given. And so suppose xn converges to x0, right? So by definition, what does it mean? Let me write it down, that if you give me a positive epsilon, then there is guaranteed a positive integer n such that the distance between xn and x0 is epsilon from stage capital N onwards. Yeah. So this is exactly saying that if I look at this ball around x0 in the distance function d with radius epsilon, then all points of the sequence xn beyond the stage determined by the index capital N live in this open ball. Correct? Is that okay? Yeah. So if you sort of draw a picture in R on the real line, then this would mean that if x0 is here, and so the open ball is an open interval in this case, then all points of the sequence xn starting from x capital N plus 1, they all live in this. Correct? Yes, this is just the definition. Okay. Now, if I have to prove this statement, then what is it? If I have to show that x0 is a limit point of the range of xn, what does that mean? So let's just remind that also. So recall that definition. What does that it mean to say recall? When is x0 a limit point of the set E? What is the definition of this statement? So x0 is a limit point of the set E if every neighborhood of x0 contains a point of E different from x0. Yeah. If every neighborhood of x0 contains a point of E different from x0. Now let's fix a neighborhood of x0. Yeah, so let's fix some positive epsilon, right? And consider a neighborhood of x0, right? So any neighborhood of x0 looks like this, right? Yeah, so it's an open ball centered at x naught and radius some positive epsilon, right? Now, by definition, what is that we need? We know that there is an index capital N such that all points of the sequence xn live in this neighborhood beyond the stage capital N, right? So this neighborhood of the point x naught in fact contains infinitely elements of the sequence, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So do you think that x naught would be a limit point of the set E?
Yes, ma'am. It will be
Yes. Is that okay?
yes, ma'am.
Yes. Is that okay with everybody present here?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So all I did is, I just wrote down the definition of what is the meaning of a statement x naught xn converges to x naught, and what is the meaning of the statement that x naught is a limit point of the set E. Nothing else. Is that okay? So can I leave it at this point? You should be able to sort of proceed from this point onwards.
Ma'am, can I ask one thing?
Yeah, please, please.
Ma'am, for the constant sequence, in the range would contain only one element, and then
Correct.
it will not. Hello.
Correct. Yes.
Yes, ma'am. The range will not be a limit point, so this should be.
Correct. Correct.
Okay, ma'am.
Correct.
Ma'am,
Yes.
for this exercise, you gave an example to show the range set, and the example was -1 to the sequence -1 to the power n.
Correct.
Ma'am, will the I'm not talking about the range set. Will the sequence xn means -1 to the power n? Will that set contain any limit points? Means
So
if
what
we
are you
show
saying
by
to
the
say? Huh.
if we show by the epsilon neighborhood, it is not contained. I guess.
Say your question again. I didn't understand. So range of the sequence is -1, 1 in this case. What are you saying? The sequence contains a limit point. What is you saying?
Yes,
What
ma'am.
is
I
your
wanted
question?
to ask if the sequence is containing a limit point. Means there is an accumulation at 1 and -1. But
See, what is the meaning of a statement that the sequence contains a limit point? Limit point is of a set. What are you asking? I don't understand the question.
ma'am, the range set has a finite number of elements.
Correct. So range set is -1 to 1. Now you're asking, does the range set have a limit point? Is that what you're
Yes.
asking? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
See, okay. So the question is separately. So this. So let's look at this. So this is a separate question, right? So another question is, sorry. So question, you look at the set -1 to 1 as a subset in the real line with the Euclidean metric. Is that correct? So the question is, what are the limit points of E? Do I understand your question correctly?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, is that what you're asking? Okay. So what are the limit points of E? Somebody would like to answer this question?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
There are no limit point for the epsilon equal to half.
For epsilon equal to half, meaning so limit point definition is independent of epsilon, right?
Sorry. If we can
Right?
consider an element of E, and if we take the epsilon is equal to half neighborhood, and we remove that element from that, then the intersection would not contain any element. So hence it will not be a limit point.
So all you're trying to say is no point of E is a limit point of E. Is that what your statement is?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So I'll write down. -1 and 1 are not the limit points of E. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. All right. But the question is, what are the limit points of E? Can any other real number be a limit point of the set E?
No, ma'am.
No.
Why cannot be any other real number be a limit point of the set E? So E is here, yeah. This is the point -1, this is the point, just a 2-point set. So if I pick a real number, no real number can be a limit point of E. Is that a statement that you want to make?
Yes, ma'am.
Can be a limit point of E. Why is that? No matter where R is, whether R is here, 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 or here, you can always find a tiny neighborhood of little r such that this particular neighborhood of R does not in fact intersect the set E. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So I'll write it down since there is a question. Given little r, there always exists a positive epsilon such that if you look at this epsilon neighborhood of the little r, this does not intersect the set E. So the upshot of this is that little r cannot be a limit point of the set E. Now little r was any arbitrary real number. So no real number can be a limit points of the set E. The upshot of all of this is the set E has no limit points. Is that okay, Kritika?
Yes.
Yeah. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ma'am,
Yeah. Good.
ma'am, here we just observed and said that there are means there is no R which can be a limit point of E, but means is there any rigorous proof?
Right. You find this epsilon rigorously. You find this epsilon rigorously. Over here, what should be your choice for epsilon? You can write it down. You can take 3 separate cases. What if R is strictly less than -1? What if R sits between -1 and 1? And what if R is strictly bigger than 1? So you can write it down. In each case, you can put down epsilon on the paper, isn't it?
Okay, ma'am. We have to take different cases.
Yes, you can do that. Meaning, it's not that I say that you believe. You can write it down. Is all I'm trying to say. You can I have sort of drawn some red brackets here on the number line, if you can see.
Yes.
Yes. So you can actually put down what epsilons are, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, in terms of the distance between the point R and -1 and things like that. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
But I was referring to a sum that you had given in assignment 2.
Okay.
1 by m plus 1 by n,
Yes.
and we had to find the limit points, and 1 by n would be the limit points and 0, but there would be no other limit points. That part was the problematic part.
Yeah, that part requires work. Right.
So that's why I'm asking, is there any rigorous proof for this kind of questions, like where we have to show that there are no other limit points in that
So
case?
it's this, all you have to do is just follow the definition, and you have to say that pick any real number, and there cannot you can always find a neighborhood of that real number that does not intersect the set E in possibly the point R itself. That's it. Nothing else. And slowly as we evolve, we will see some more implications of limit points, and then if you feel comfortable, then you can use that also.
Okay, ma'am.
Right?
Okay.
Ma'am,
Yes.
For the justification part, since if the range set has the finite number of elements, can we directly say that it will not contain a limit point?
Yeah, but this is exactly the argument, right? There's nothing more to it. It's just a two-line argument.
Yes, ma'am.
Right?
That's
Yeah, it's just a finite set, meaning there's nothing more to it. That's it.
yes,
Isn't it?
yes.
Yeah.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, please.
I had a question.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Ma'am, in this question, since we took the metric space as R, D, so if we can take the metric space as E, D, will it have the limit points?
Which metric space? E comma T. Sorry.
Yes, ma'am.
E meaning the set E.
Yes, ma'am. Can we take it?
Okay, let's see. So another question. So E is -1 to 1, and so you are looking at it as E comma D, right? So E, so the universal space is this here, yeah, and the metric remains the same. The metric remains the same. So I'm asking, do you also want to change the metric, or that remains the same?
No, metric is
The metric remains the same. So what are all the limit points of E? Okay, all right. So anybody would like to attempt this question?
Ma'am, by definition, if I take again, suppose A belongs to E, and if I consider the interval A minus half, A plus half, and then remove A from that set, and then take the intersection with E.
So let me write that down. Yeah. So E here is just a 2-point set.
Yes, ma'am.
So you are saying let A. I'll just write down whatever you are saying. Let's denote A points of E by A. You know, A can be either 1 or -1. And now you're taking the epsilon as half. And you're looking at this neighborhood. Okay, then what happens?
And then I remove A from this set, this
Okay.
interval.
Okay.
Then the intersection with E.
I will, let's see. Okay, you want to remove A. Why do you want to do that?
Because I'm considering limit points.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Because I'm considering the limit point, so I will not take A as the element here. So I will remove A and then take intersection with E, and then it should be equal to phi.
So you should remove E from here, isn't it?
No, ma'am. From the interval itself.
Let's say, so let me read. So the one way to write it, this is, let's see if you're convinced. So if you intersect the set E, then this intersection you claim is either empty or the singleton set A. Is that correct?
No, ma'am. This will not be empty since A will still be there. So I was saying that the interval A minus half, A plus half, we remove A from that.
Okay, so this statement is not correct. Yeah, so I'll take this back. So even if, so this intersection equals singleton A is what you want to say? Is this statement correct?
No, ma'am, not exactly, but I was saying A minus
half. I'll write down what you are saying. Yeah, A minus half, A plus half, minus singleton A, and you want to intersect all of this with E. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am, exactly.
And now what do you want to say?
That this set is empty, and I think it should not be a limit point by definition. I'm not sure if I'm right. I'm just using the definition.
See over here, you know, the first thing is when you are taking the metric space as E, and not R, what are the neighborhoods of the points of E? This is not a neighborhood.
Okay.
See, this is A minus half, A plus half is not a neighborhood in this metric space ED. Is that correct? Everybody with me on
Yeah,
this?
we are
Yeah.
not working.
So this doesn't seem like the right approach. Yeah. So that's the first thing. Yeah. So I'll just strike this off. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Everybody understands this? So first the thing is, what is a neighborhood of a point A in this set, in this metric space? Yeah. So you should write down. So this is by definition all points in the set E such that the distance from A is right. So this doesn't make sense whether you take with the first statement or the second statement, doesn't matter, because these are not neighborhoods in this metric space. So what are the neighborhoods in this metric space? Let's take A to be -1 if you like. What is a neighborhood of -1? Epsilon neighborhood of -1. What does it look like?
Ma'am, -1 itself.
Okay, so you are saying that, sorry, what did I do? So you are saying, this is the only possibility and nothing else can happen?
Yes, ma'am.
I think so.
Okay, certainly.
Ma'am,
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
ma'am, it depends upon the epsilon.
Correct. Okay, so let's see. Yeah. Okay, so okay. So can you give me one choice of epsilon for this? The neighborhood turns out to be singleton -1.
Epsilon can be less than 1, ma'am.
Epsilon can be less
Less
than
than
1.
1.
Let's take
Right.
epsilon to be half. So if I take it to be half, then what is it? What does this turn out to be? So this is all points in the set E such that the distance between x and -1, which is x plus 1, is less than half. So what is this? What is this set? Is that correct? What is this set?
-1.
So this set is -1. See, there are only 2 points in E. One is -1 and the other is +1. The +1 doesn't satisfy this, so the answer is -1. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes, is that correct with everybody? Everybody with me on this point? Okay. So are these all the neighborhoods, or is there any other neighborhood of the point -1?
Yeah, it will contain the other one as well for epsilon greater than 1 or equal.
Okay, so let me take epsilon equal to 2 now. So what if I take epsilon equal to 2, then what do I get? So the by definition, it is x minus -1, which is x plus 1, is strictly less than 2. So what are all points in this?
The set E itself.
The set E
No,
itself.
No, ma'am, it's
it's
minus
-1.
Right?
It's
Because this
-1.
is, yeah. So I should take something more, isn't it? What if I take 2.5 here? Then what do I get?
Then -1 and 1.
Then
-1 and
Take
1.
both the points, correct? Right? So what are neighborhoods? These are the only possibilities. Nothing else that you have in this set. Is only a 2-point set. So what are neighborhoods in this case? They're the only 2, isn't it? Is that okay? Everybody with me on this?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Now can we go back to the earlier question? Now can you tell me the limit points? Now that we have worked out neighborhoods, what are the limit points of this set E in this example?
Phi.
Why do you say phi?
We have seen when epsilon is less than half, we get only Singleton said -1.
Right, yeah, you know, for epsilon equal to half, you look at this neighborhood around the point -1. This contains no other point of the set E, the set E itself. So the only limit point is that okay? Is everybody with me up till this point?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that okay? Can I leave this at this point? Yeah. So you know which metric space you are working with is very important, because you have to work out neighborhoods with respect to that metric space, right? Simply because some set is sitting in R does not mean that you start with neighborhoods like this. Is that okay?
Ma'am, I want to ask one thing. I didn't get the last part. Why did we choose
Please go ahead.
epsilon as 2.5 rather than epsilon equal to 2?
If you take epsilon equal to 2, then you still get singleton -1 as the only point. Because x plus 1 in modulus is strictly less than 2. I wanted to come up with a neighborhood which contains both the points -1 and 1.
I got that.
Is that okay? So you have to pick something bigger than 2.
Yeah, I thought the distance is 1. That's why. Okay,
yeah,
okay.
Is that okay?
Yes, ma'am. Exactly.
All right. So I think with this, we will stop here for today. Well, not today, for the morning session, and we meet in the afternoon again. Yeah, you might have another class at 9:30, so I don't want to overshoot the time. All right. Is that okay?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Take care, and bye-bye.